You know what they used to call me in high school? Foam drinker.
Did you drink foam?
All the foam off the top of the beer.
What up, and welcome to another episode of Brotherhood Without Manners, your favorite full spoiler reread podcast of George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire series. I'm Nate. Joining me as always is this idiot over here, Zach.
Yo, the biatch was like, what?
And I was like, later on.
There you go. It's a little Scooby-Doo reference coming at you. Classic movie. Fight me if you think it's not. We like to read A Song of Ice and Fire here and talk about it. If you've joined us before, thank you for coming back. If you haven't, we are full spoiler. So go reread the series or read the series for your first time and then come back and join us for a reread because we'll spoil everything. I don't have a spoiler in mind.
That's okay. We don't need to have one every
I'm aware.
time.
I was just saying. Fuck.
Okay. You
anyway,
don't gotta yell at me.
It's been pretty silent in the goings on. We're still waiting for word for Martin from, what was it, WonderCon? What is he?
Well, no, he's announced.
I know it's viral or virtual.
Yeah, he's made a few announcements at this point because he was also put out a post because the musician James Preen, I think is his name, died or something, and he was somebody that Martin liked, and he mentioned Worldcon in there again, and how he's still, I guess, the virtual Toastmaster, but there wasn't much about A Song of Ice and Fire in there.
Well, that's all right, because
by the end of the year, I'm thinking.
He's quarantined
again.
And obviously, who wants it out more than George in all actuality? So
yeah.
But and then just A Song of Madness has finally ended.
It wrapped up. We got our
Targaryen is the 2020 champion. Big shout out to at Davos Fingers for hosting that and putting that on and just giving us all something to do and the fandom something to talk over and discuss.
Fuck off all the people that were fucked too.
Yeah, if you were a fucktard, fuck off, because we don't need you there.
They put a lot of hard work into that.
Yeah, it's actual people who want to have fun and poke fun and not actually get serious and angry and ridiculous over it. So if you came out and had fun, dope. If not, go away.
Yeah, go away.
But thanks to Davos Fingers, again, Scad and Matt for putting that on. And this, if you joined us last episode, we were reading Tyrion 8. Tyrion and the Small Council, Varys, Littlefinger, and Cersei, had received word of Renly's death in his own camp, and how they debated on how that could have happened amidst his own army. And some said it was Catelyn Stark, some were hinting at Brienne, others Stannis himself slipping in. But the one thing to take away is they don't know how the fuck it happened. But Tyrion spots an opportunity here to scoop up Loras Tyrell and the lords who didn't immediately go over to Stannis. And so they begin discussing who can go, and Cersei tries to use that opportunity to get Tyrion out of the city. And first they're Jason Bywater, who is Tyrion's, and then Tyrion himself. But Littlefinger ends up being the one who draws the short straw, and he bonds essentially carte blanche, a blank check, giving him power to speak with Joffrey's voice and do what's needed to be done. And he's leaving for Bitterbridge, I think it is. And he's got a little escort with him. And so that's the gist of King's Landing.
Jesus.
What?
A little long-winded there.
I mean,
we're
good ways into the fucking story. Wonderful. Somebody's got to speak on this podcast.
If you gave somebody a chance, he would. Anyway. But yeah, so with that, we will be joining Theon this chapter.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to get he's all touchy now?
I'm long-winded. Tell us what happened in Theon. Where did we leave Theon?
Last we left Theon.
Short and succinct.
He was preparing to go raid the Stony Shores. Short and succinct. So he was not happy about doing that. Obviously, we will be picking up where he does not want to be raiding them. He has done so already. He wanted what Asha was out doing, raiding the big castles, Moat Caitlin, and what was the other one? Deepwood Mott. Got it. So, yeah, we'll pick up this time where he is wiping spittle off of his face.
We pick up with the rumors we heard in Bran's chapter, which is on the Stony Shore, where they are currently raiding and pillaging. And, yeah, he is wiping the spittle of one Benfred Tallhart, which we'll remember is the young nephew of the other Tallhart.
Leopold?
Leopold.
No, that's his uncle.
Yeah, uncle. Yeah, he is the nephew of Leopold Tallhart, and Leopold had told us that Benfred here had, in sort of the name of King Robb, gathered a bunch of other youthly knights around him, named themselves the Wild Hare, and have taken to riding around the countryside, defending justice, and they tied a bunch of rabbits' feet to their lances as sort of their symbol. And he is on his, not on his knees, but he's being held up before Theon.
Yeah, just calling him all sorts of names. Turncloak, coward.
Robb's gonna gut your ass, bitch.
And I love the shit he's talking. Like, it's unfortunate because Benfred, I mean, he was just this up-jump knight that wants to gain some glory.
He was a sweet summer child.
It's it. But he still seems to be aware of the power of the Starks. And you're fucked, bro. Rob's gonna kill you, dude.
Yeah, he's still a loyal bannerman, and still, if not, the young wolf's gonna rip your fucking
he was always,
ass out.
especially them. They were definitely loyal. It's just
they admired Robb.
Yeah, and it's funny because they were commanded to stay and defend. But they decided to ride out in the fields anyway. Granted, this they were actually told to go and do. So he was supposed to be here defending. It's unfortunate because, Benfred's just a good dude. He's just a little overzealous is all.
Damphair, who is also here, tells Theon that for saying that, Benfred must die. He can't disrespect you and live.
And for spitting.
When he spits on you, he spits on all of us. He spits on the drowned god. He must die. And Theon's like, I have some questions I want to ask him. And he's like, nah. They're like, fuck that shit. He's got to die. And Theon argues that he has command here, but doesn't want to really argue with Damphair too far because...
Yeah, Damphair's like, but I was sent here to counsel you. And that's what I'm doing. So...
And Theon doesn't want to push because the men that he commanded had a faith in the drowned god that they certainly didn't fucking have in him. So they'd listen to Aeron even over him. Not just Dagmer Cleftjaw, but also the priest they would rather listen to over Theon. And so...
Well, yeah, he meant, because I noticed that, because he says that he can't fault them for being terrified of Damphair. Is that just because he happens to be a priest and they hold them in such high regard?
I think it's the whole kit and caboodle of Aeron Damphair.
He's also a Greyjoy.
He's a Greyjoy, but he was once a fucking jovial, loud, drunkard type. He drowned and was reborn, so now he's this surly, prickly priest. I think it adds to the mystique of him that he drowned and was reborn as this entirely devout holy man, and so it's sort of that
mysticism
shit.
Around him.
He completely changed to being devout of the drowned god, so he must be, doing something. He's at least drinking the Kool-Aid. But we see here that Benfred is being held up between Stig and Werlag. And he tries to spit again, but only manages a little blood this time. And Theon just thinks, Tallhart, you've spit your life away. Which, this is the first time where we actually get Theon in a more sympathetic light. Where it's, I didn't want to have to do this.
You were the one that spit.
And he's even like, it sucks that it sucks to do this. It sucks having to kill Benfred. It sucks having to raid these stupid little villages where no one can defend themselves. It leaves a bad taste in his mouth, he thinks. And so finally, we're getting something of remorse or regret for some stupidity.
And he pushes it down. He rejects the notion, but it's... Yeah, he's feeling it now. So he commands Benfred to be killed. Silence him.
Yeah, they bring him to his knees and put a leather belt in his mouth to shut Benfred up and stop him spitting. And essentially, Theon's like, behead him. Kill him. And Damphair's like, he's got to be given to the god, the old way. And that Theon himself should make the offering, which... How does Theon not know this? The man who passes the sentence should swing the sword.
That's it. So... Fuck, that was all I could think was
even the old way is the man who passed, you should do it. You command here. Go fucking drown him right now.
Exactly.
Be Ned Stark.
He was there the day that Bran
was learning that lesson.
Yes.
Yeah, that the day that is cemented in Bran's memory for that quote.
You were living it up in Winterfell, ignoring all of these lessons being taught to you. When it's very similar, the North and the Iron Islands, they're different in their own ways, obviously.
This is the perfect example of, and it doesn't quite fit, but it does. The man who hides behind paid executioners soon forgets what death is, that Ned says in that same chapter. they're not paid executioners, but they're the men he commands. And so hiding behind the men you command to kill the men you commanded killed is still going to make you forget what death is. And that's the whole fucking thing here, is not only is it the old way, it's Ned Stark's way. And Theon is standing in the middle of this road, claiming he wants to be one or the other, but walking the path of neither. He didn't take any trophies from any of these people,
right.
which he thinks.
Yeah, he mentions he could have gone.
But he killed them. But you still went against everything Ned Stark would do, and you killed them, which is saying, okay, I want to be a Greyjoy, but then you didn't take your trophies.
You didn't loot your spoils.
Fucking pick a side and stick to it, you little bitch.
So now, Benfred, just because he's about to be killed, him dying, he was the one that was heir to Sir Mayo. That's his, Helman Tallhart.
Helman Tallhart
is his father. And when Helman dies later on, which is in the Battle of Duskendale, he gets killed there. That leaves the sister, Adara Tallhart, as the heir to Torrens Square. And so I just think it's interesting because Theon is going to kind of reminisce about having hung out with and known Benfred a little bit. He doesn't think about and consider the fact that, killing him is going to kind of ruin the fucking family line. Like, you're killing the eldest son, you're ending a line if his father dies.
Leopold is
a brother, but
but he'll inherit. I mean,
after Adara, after the sister.
But Theon thinks that drowning Benfred himself is more than he could stomach, and he waves his hand, and Stig and Werlag march Ben off. And Theon basically says, like, "Nah, you do it. I'm not."
And
you're the priest here.
Aeron glares this motherfucker down.
He fucking grills him. But Theon then thinks of how he used to mock Benfred to see how angry he could get him about his thick neck when he was younger, when he would come here with or go to Torrens Square with Ned Stark. He would just mock fucking Benfred just to...
I recall doing this exact same thing with somebody we know's friend growing up.
No, not you.
I was nothing if not antagonistic as a child.
No shit.
Well, but yeah, he was
Theon? Yep.
He was whoa, no, that's a little harsh. I just like to get a little rise out of people now and then. So, yeah, he was a big thick-necked guy, and it was entertaining to see how red he would get when he'd get mad at me. But I understand what he was doing then.
Yeah. He looks over then the scene of this battle before him and thinks that it was more like a slaughter. And essentially, they came upon a little tiny village that barely anyone was able to defend themselves, could swing a fucking sword, let alone handle all these Iron Men. He sees the Iron Men looting the corpses or gathering up horses and what they're taking. He sees Gavin Harlaw sawing the finger of a corpse off to get at a ring, paying the iron price, and he thinks that my father would approve.
Yeah,
but again,
because this is where he mentions that he could go. He killed 2 men.
2 men, yeah,
and he could go and track them down and see if they had any jewelry on for him to take, but he just didn't want to.
But the thought left a bitter taste in his mouth, and he imagines what Eddard Stark would say, and then he gets angry at that thought. Stark is dead and rotting, and not to me. So this is the moment right here when he should have been like, "Oh yeah, I'm not a Greyjoy. Like, this ain't me." Yep. And rode off to Robb and been like, "Yo, I fucked up. Like, I thought I wanted to be my father's man. Like, I'm mixed up, but, like, here's what he's doing. Sorry." And Robb probably would have accepted him at this point. He hasn't made any huge detrimental mistakes yet.
Right.
Yet. But he's still willing to just blindly keep pushing through.
That's it, because if you're going to get yourself angry and then push that down and be like, "No, fuck Ned Stark," then go get your fucking loot. Mm-hmm. Go get your jewelry. Check those bodies.
See, the only way to prove yourself to your father is going to be, like, coming back decked out in...
Even if you're not decked out, if you just have a ring,
I killed a couple
an iron
guys,
ring on your finger.
That I paid the price for.
Like, this guy didn't have valuables, but he had this ring, I paid the price for it. I killed him, I took it. Or an axe, or, something.
Yeah.
Because now he goes back and sees his father... Well, what did you get from this? Oh, remember I lost Winterfell there, but, otherwise nothing. I have fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Pick a fucking side, like you said.
And then we get old Botley, who is called Fish Whiskers, who sits by his pile of plunder as his 3 sons add to it. One of them, who is currently fighting with a drunk man named Todrick. And so Theon tells Wex, his squire, to go get his bow and quiver as these two are fighting, which Wex quickly does. And as they fall to the ground wrestling, Todrick holding a drinking horn, Theon aims for the horn, but ends up hitting Todrick in the belly.
Yeah, he wanted to make a show of knocking the drink out of his hand and showing off how good of a shot he is, but supposedly Todrick lurched at the last second. But
everyone turns to kind of gape at Theon, and he says, "No drunkards, I said, and no squabbles over plunder." And so he has the Botley's sons finish Todrick off. They slit his throat and quickly set about looting his corpse. And Theon just thinks, now they know I mean what I say. Like, fuck you. Fine.
Yeah, he thinks that he's got a sway now over them. And it's like, none of them respect you for that.
But he is being realistic about, because he says command may be his, but many still viewed him as a young boy from the Greenlands. Like, he ain't shit to them. But he kicks at Benfred's fallen banner, which is currently in the hands of a dead squire still, which is just such an image of these wild hares.
Yeah. And so that's when he sees the rabbit skins again and reminds himself, oh shit, I wanted to see what the hell those were about.
I wanted to ask about that,
Oops.
But
it's like every D&D session where I've asked any NPC anything.
But he stalks off, remembering the Whispering Wood and how elated he'd been there with how many people he killed and how fucking great that was, and he wonders why this didn't taste as sweet.
And what the drops of how how stark he actually is. It was because you were fighting for the correct side. You had loyalty to somebody. Like right now, you have no loyalty to anybody.
And you're killing people who are just innocent, living their lives.
Yeah.
Like that was war. That was a brilliant tactical move in war. This is fucking assault and slaughtering villagers. Like this isn't a battle. This is a slaughter, a massacre, as he said.
Which he even mentions because Benfred didn't even have scouts.
Yeah, no.
He didn't.
They were joking and singing.
Yeah,
and fucking da 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 da.
It was still a merry game for them. Like this is not Tywin Lannister. This is not even Jaime Lannister. For fuck's sake, it's not even Edmure Tully. Like there is no actual military thought going through this. This is them. Oh, there's supposed to be some raiders down there. We'll go get them. Yada yada yada. Nope.
Yeah, and they were joking and singing as the wave of arrows first hit him, and then Theon led the charge. Theon leads it,
leads the vanguard, which is what this would technically be.
But it's against, again, these
teenagers
and villagers and shit, so it's nobody. It's nothing work.
And least of all, he was not expecting Benfred to be there.
No.
Because
not someone he knew.
Yeah, while we know as the rereaders that Benfred Tallhart was being sent down to handle them, he's coming back from the Iron Islands and actually holding the attack. So all of a sudden, oh shit, I know this guy. Mm-hmm. I know this guy really well, considering this sucks.
Sucks to suck when you fucking betray everything that you know.
And he's as he's heading back, he's passing Benfred's body being dragged out of the sea because it was just drowned.
Deuce.
Damphair and all his men are kind of walking with the body, and where am I? I lost my spot on my notes.
Theon starts heading back to the sea bitch, and he notes that nothing remained of the fishing village, but the cold ashes. All the men had been killed, save for a handful that were sent to flee to Torrens Square. Fair women and daughters were taken for salt wives. The ugly were just raped and killed.
Yeah, the old and the ugly were just killed out. Right?
Yeah. And Theon himself had planned the attack using darkness to slip into the sleeping village. He did not like the taste of any of this, but what choice did he have? Go to Rob, you fucking toolbox.
Yeah, Theon planned the attack himself. You planned the slaughter of unsuspecting innocent people. That's not planning an attack, man. That's planning a slaughter. That's like, oh, I walked into the orphanage and just fucking, dude, no, that's not you planning an attack. That's fucked up savage shit.
Yeah.
You're an idiot, not a battle tactician.
What choice do I have? Ugh. He thinks of Asha and gets jealous, of course, because she's off to win a castle. Balon did well at having had no word of the hosting leave the Iron Islands, and so the Northmen would not know their true peril until too late. Not until the hammers fell, both on Deepwood Mott and Moat Cailin.
So I like that he did say that Asha was up north raiding.
Yeah.
All the songs would be sung about her.
Yep.
While he was forgotten.
Yeah, she's going to get all the credit.
That, again, that's your biggest issue right there, fucking Theon, is you're worried about the personal glory. That's why you didn't stay with Robb. That's why you're
he wanted to be a king.
You want to have all the power and glory.
He straight up wants to be a king.
Well, yeah, at this point,
he wants to overthrow his father's plan and
Robb.
Yeah. Again, this is where his ego flares up, and he says that's if he allows it. That's if he allows her to be the one in the annals of history and all that fun jazz, which is just complete, utter bullshit if he allows it. Asha would fuck him up all day, every day. And so with that, as he returns to
the sea bitch
meet with one of his commanders, we're going to convene our small council quick and give you guys the deets on our end. We'll be right back with Theon and Dagmer Cleftjaw.
What's up? Welcome to the Small Council. Thank you for joining us here, where we like to we already know them, usually, not all the time, where we'd like to give you our socials.
It's not like you have a choice, you have to listen to it.
Oh, yeah, I guess they could hit pause.
Good.
But don't do that, because
you
like
unpause
listening.
it through my mind magic.
He can do that. The Force.
I just did things to your phone.
Don't look for it, though.
We are all over social medias, and we've been blowing up on some of the social medias. And so on YouTube, we've been getting quite a lot of comments from
lots of them.
A couple of our friends there. And I wanted to mention one on one of our latest episodes, Tyrion 8, A New Proposal. Stephanie Lyons wrote in and said that our mention of Jane Poole made her stomach twist because it reminded her with a jolt of where she is. She gets that we don't like her because of our love for Arya, and she loves Arya as well. But I'm really not cool with this idea that she deserved what she got for the childhood bullying. Like, no, I'm sorry. Of course, I know you guys don't believe that, but I have seen people in the fandom who really think she does. I have a really tender spot for Jane Poole because her story really shows the horrors of classism. So you're absolutely right, as much as we joke about it.
Yeah,
neither one of us believes she deserves what Ramsay does to her.
Absolutely not.
I'm like you. I've read people who thinks that she does, and that's just people trying to be as
I was
harsh.
just gonna say I'm the lucky one, I guess, because I've not actually seen anybody seriously saying it.
Yeah, Jane Poole is irredeemable and terrible.
She's a little girl who pokes fun at people, but I've called some people names and shit as a kid before as well. Nobody deserves that, let alone this poor little girl who has done nothing wrong in her. Nothing seriously wrong. One of the most innocent characters in the entire fucking story.
Yeah, she's a reflection of Sansa, definitely. And I really like that. Yeah, obviously, Jane Poole, nobody deserves to be raped for comments that they make as a child. So, yeah, I just thought that was interesting. You also say that you hate the... and I have to admit it, it's one of my favorites. The theory that Jane Poole will be going to Braavos to commit suicide and Arya will wear her face.
Yeah.
Mainly because I just like the idea of Jane Poole getting revenge, even if it isn't Jane Poole, if it is Arya with Jane Poole's face. But I understand why you don't like that. I just wanted to touch on that. So thank you, Stephanie, for writing in and commenting on YouTube. We do see your comments, even if we don't reply to all of them.
Yeah.
If you want to reach us, as we've stated, you can find us on YouTube. All our episodes are uploaded there.
Yeah, you can leave comments, talk to us there. Or if you would like to have a lot of specific things that you want to say to us, you can always write us an email at withoutmannersbrotherhood@gmail.com. That's where most of our biggest inductees get sent.
Yeah.
We are also able to be reached on Twitter. I'm at MannersWithout. You are at Carstark92.
Yeah.
We have a facebook.com/Brotherhood Podcast, which there's also a private Facebook group, which you can gain access to via the Patreon.
Yeah, and we definitely always try to respond and be active in there. Lately, it's been a little more active, so
good.
Yeah. But yeah, we're trying to
doing our
that.
best.
Yeah. especially with the quarantine, all that fun stuff.
Patreon.com/Without Manners. You also get access to our bonus Winds of Winter sample chapter rereads, where we do the same thing we do during these episodes, just the current stuff that is out until the actual book is released.
Soon.
There's only 2 more Winds sample chapters left. We're doing our notes on Arianne 2 right now, and so we'll be getting that uploaded soon, and following that is Tyrion's.
We also have a website.
Yes, www.brotherhoodwithout.com. And I should learn that way better. I type it in every day, and yet I still can't seem to get it down.
I think that is it.
Yeah, definitely rate, review, subscribe, leave us all your comments. Review us on Podchaser, because right now Podchaser is donating 25 cents for every single review on their platform. And that's just
donating it to
Meals on Wheels for help for COVID-19 support. And so every single review, and so not just ours, like go on a fucking reviing frenzy, man.
I love DoorDash.
And I guess they could be DoorDash. They're a real thing, though.
No, they both are. Meals on Wheels.
Well, yeah, I know.
It just a real thing. But anyway. Review us on Podchaser so that way we can help out. Get some food to some people so people can stay the fuck home.
Yeah.
And we will let you get back to
Theon 3. Bye-bye.
You know what they used to call me in high school? Foam drinker.
Did you drink foam?
All the foam off the top of the beer. Not in high school. Obviously after high school.
So why did they call you that in high school?
The timeline of this story. I never underage drank.
Okay. All right.
But
I think it's too late for you to cross that line.
Anyway,
Theon definitely underage
Dagmer
drank.
Cleftjaw was standing at the prow of his ship, which is called the Foam Drinker, hence my fucking hilarious joke.
You're an idiot.
And Theon had assigned him to guard the ships while they did the raiding.
I think this was one of the few intelligent decisions he's made.
Otherwise, the men would have called the victory Dagmer's and not Theon's.
Dagmer is an established veteran of being a badass. He's raided plenty of shores, pillaged, raped, and looted as any good Iron Islander would. And so, yeah, they respect him, not Theon. So if he was out on the field, they'd be like, hey, good job, Dagmer.
Yeah, you led this well. A more prickly man would have taken that as a slight, being told to guard the ships, but Cleftjaw had only laughed. So, hop, skip, and skirt, show Dagmer Cleftjaw and book Dagmer Cleftjaw are 2 completely different people.
Very different.
Show Dagmer Cleftjaw as a piece of shit who doesn't deserve screen time.
Yeah, just a piece of shit that
book
is
Dagmer
dumb.
is badass who got his face fucking split open with an axe and split in half.
Thus
Cleftjaw. Theon, even though he shares very little Greyjoy blood, has always called him uncle. So there's this sort of familial... Theon is comfortable around him and almost relies and confides in him. And we get right here. He's not proud. He's not a proud man. He's willing to guard the ships because he knows what Theon's doing. He knows that Theon has to make him guard the ships to gain respect for command. So he just laughs about it. He's not a serious dude. Maybe he was back in his reaving and pillaging days, but now he's pretty chill. He's like, we're here to do what Lord Balon, King Balon said. So fuck
and that's what's kind of cool with, and we'll get into a little more in a bit, but what's kind of cool is that Cleftjaw is almost even proud and rooting for Theon.
Oh yeah,
and I will get more into Cleftjaw bit here, but I love this guy.
Because as Theon approaches, Cleftjaw tells Theon, "You should smile more, for the dead cannot. This was a good victory." And then smiled himself as if to show Theon how it was done, and it made for a hideous sight.
I love it. I fucking love that.
Dagmer, and this is where we get the description of his face being split open, but Dagmer was not ashamed of his scarred smile, and he grinned often and broadly. He is the complete opposite of everything Theon wishes he could be.
Yeah.
Even with a split in half face, he's still fucking smiling and showing it off and doesn't give a fuck.
It really reminds me of Tyrion.
It reminds me of Renly. Won't you have a peach? He enjoys the little moments.
Because I was thinking more. He has this He got his face cut in half. Like he's an ugly dude. He doesn't give a shit. He's living life. He's living fucking life, man.
And that grin brought memories back to Theon as he had seen it often as a boy. when he correctly swung a sword, when he properly strung a bow, when he fished correctly, Dagmer was there.
He realizes,
would give him that smile.
And he realizes that he had more smiles from Dagmer than from Balon, Ned, and Robb all put together.
Yeah. That is huge.
Dude.
Huge. And none of that is even remotely referenced in the show. This type of bond between
this
them.
is his father figure.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Not Ned Stark, not Balon Greyjoy.
This is
him.
The one who would smile at him and say, I'm proud of you. You did good today,
Good
son.
job fishing. Good job steering that boat away from those rocks. Good,
even brotherly, even Robb.
Dude, yeah. Where they had that friendly competition, this man right here is the fucking the fucking dude,
yeah, because he thinks even the day he saved Bran for Robb, there were no smiles, nothing but scowls for him that day.
Yeah, contempt. Yeah. If Dagmer Cleftjaw if he had been able to spend more time with Dagmer, I think Theon could have been. I mean, he's always going to be Theon. He would have had to learn his lessons.
I think Theon would have been able to, if he had spent time with Cleftjaw. I think Cleftjaw would have drawn more attention to the fact that he has this choice to make. Do you want to be a Greyjoy or Stark? And you need to fucking choose that and own it.
Yeah.
Regardless of who it pisses off, I'll become your enemy if you become a Stark.
But that's a choice you get to make.
You need to make that choice. That's on you. That is not a choice I make. That's not a choice Balon makes. It's not a choice Asha makes. That's a choice you have to fucking make, dude. And
where do you want your loyalties to lie?
Where are you loyal to? And I think Dagmer would absolutely help steer him.
It's very similar to Qhorin Halfhands, who would make that kind of call to Jon. Like, if you want to be loyal to me, you need to kill me. And so he would lay it on the line for him like that. Like, if you can either be loyal to the Starks, your new family, or me. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't quite recall what happens with Dagmer here in the book because I never paid all that much attention to him. And so, holy shit, I'm on board for Dagmer Cleftjaw, though.
Yeah. Theon asks him to speak alone, and Dagmer invites Theon onto Foam Drinker because aboard his ship, each man is a king. There is no command doesn't matter when you step onto a man's ship. He is the king there. And so he invites Theon on, and they go to the cabin of the Foam Drinker. And Theon immediately begins to hint at his plans to not set sail.
Yeah, we don't have enough horses. We didn't get enough of them.
Yeah.
And Dagmar's immediately like, dude, we don't use fucking horses. We're not Dothraki. We have boats.
Theon is watching Dagmer closely as he says this, because without Cleftjaw, he could not hope to succeed. He had no hope of winning over Aeron Damphair to this plan that he has come up with. So, Dagmer Cleftjaw is his best and only hope here. And so Dagmer's just kind of keeping it simple. He says, we were commanded to harry the coast. No more, no less. And of all your father's men, I am the best.
Yeah,
that's that.
And Theon's not really sure if he's disapproving of the idea or if he's curious about the idea, because Cleftjaw's hard to read. And
Theon thinks he spots pride.
Yeah, so he calls out to that. You are the best. That's why I need you there. You're the greatest swordsman on the Iron Islands. And Dagmer's like, yeah, no, not anymore.
Again, he doesn't have that much pride.
Yeah, there isn't any.
I think when he's saying that he's Balon's best man, I think he's just meaning as far as loyalty, as far as, I'm going to listen to him and do whatever he asks me to, because I always have.
And I know how to do what I do, but I'm not the best anymore.
Andric is the best sword now. And so it's not pride for Dagmer. It's this sort of just knowing his status, knowing where he's at. Balon knows he can rely on me to get shit done. And I will. And that's about it. I'm not the best sword, but I can do some shit.
Yeah, so he tells him their talents are wasted on harrying the coast.
Yeah.
They need to do something more. And
Dagmer calls his shit. He hoots.
So let's see. I wrote down a quote here from, I think it's Dagmer, but it might be Theon. Wasted carrying the coast, nor for his true. He's saying. Yeah,
because Dagmer starts laughing.
Well, yeah, because Theon says your talents are wasted harrying the coast. It's not good enough for you, and so Dagmer says, nor for his trueborn son. I know you too well, Theon. I saw you take your first step, helped you bend your first bow. It's not me who feels wasted. he calls him out right there.
Yeah.
And, like, again, we mentioned him helping him throughout his life and being that father figure. The fact that he says it right here, like, dude, I know you. This has nothing to do with me. You need me. But this is about you feeling fucking useless.
Yeah, Dagmer's fine with what he's doing. He was fine watching the ships. He don't give a shit.
Yeah, and so Theon immediately, my sister's command should be mine, and you know it, by right. By right.
And Dagmer lays it out. You take it too hard, boy. It is only your father does not know you. Your sister was his solace. You were gone for 10 years, and with the loss of your brothers, he relied on her, and she never failed him. And he says, nor have I. The Starks knew my worth, and he starts to brag about Whispering Wood again.
And how he almost crossed swords with Jaime, the Kingslayer.
And Dagmer says, Theon, the boy wolf is your friend, and these Starks had you for 10 years. And Theon says, I am no Stark. Lord Eddard saw to that, he thinks. Which, again, it's just this bitterness towards Ned, which is completely unwarranted, seems to be, because he clearly holds some value for Ned of what would Ned think if I was seen doing this.
But that's the worst part is the other person that he should be taking advice from here, Dagmer Cleftjaw, right now states, don't, wait, your time will come.
Yeah, because Theon wants a great deed. He needs a great deed to prove his worth to his father. And Dagmer's like, it'll come. You just need to fucking wait. Do as you're commanded and chill for a minute.
Which, again, would mean going and getting those 2 bodies, checking them for some jewelry or something to show I paid the iron price. Where should I go to next, father?
Yeah.
You need to build up a rapport,
but
dumbass.
Instead, Theon says that Aeron Damphair can do as he was commanded. And Theon then reveals his plans to take a castle. And Cleftjaw is to basically asks, what would my fucking part be in this great scheme of yours? And Theon tells him that Cleftjaw is to take a greater part of their force to Torrhen's Square and make a bunch of noise along the way. Let them cry out for help.
Well, I mean, before he explains the whole plan, he had to sell Dagmer on it a bit. And Dagmer's like, because he's like, yeah, why should I do it? But he mentions, when I hand my father, back this kingdom, they're going to sing of the deeds that led to it for 1,000 years. And then it talks about how Dagmer's a sucker for songs. And I just thought that was funny that it reminded me of Sansa there. Who else he just really likes the songs and the boisterousness of the stuff. And so that's what pushes him over that edge to, okay, let's hear your plan. What do I need to do for this to happen?
I think Theon thinks that's what pushed it, but I don't.
No,
think
I mean,
think he's humoring Theon.
Absolutely.
Being what great castle? What would be my great?
I just think
that's
where I was going with it is that's very Sansa-ish. I think it's crazy that little Theon, because everything obviously it's a Theon point of view chapter. He sees as, like you said, pride earlier, but this isn't a proud
it's
man.
Minimal pride. Yeah.
And so it's all these complete misjudgments of Dagmer. Oh, he loves the songs. He's not a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah.
He sees past that shit. Okay, sure.
He likes the songs when he's getting drunk and has a wench on his lap.
That's what it says.
Yeah.
It goes into the detail. He likes that. Who doesn't like a fucking song when you're drinking and whoring it up? As doing whatever. But...
Yeah, that's why I just jumped right over it, because no matter what in this chapter, Theon was going to tell someone this plan. It didn't matter who it was.
Yeah.
He just wants... Because
he's not going to listen.
Because everything Dagmer is telling him is just rolling right off of him. He's not listening to the fucking logic of it. And so, he tells him he's to take a greater part of their force, Cleftjaw is, to Torrhen's Square, make a bunch of fucking noise, and let them send for help.
Yeah, so Leopold will close the gates off, and once he's closed the gates, then he will send a raven to Winterfell, asking for aid.
Valiant Sir Roderick will ride to his aid when he hears that the fearsome Dagmer Cleftjaw is attacking Torrhen's Square, because his honor will make him. He can't not defend the bannermen. And Dagmer immediately sees this for what it is. He's like, you would set us against Torrhen's Square. There's no way. We don't have siege engines. And Theon's like, no, start to build them. Let them think you're setting in deep. And Dagmer's like, you would have us start a battle we can't fucking win. That is dumb. This Torrhen's Square will never fall, Dagmer says. And then Theon gives his stupid little smirk.
Evil, malicious grin.
And he says, it is not Torrhen's Square I mean to take. And that's where his chapter ends. So he means Winterfell. We know this.
Yes.
Even a first-time reader should be able to pick it up at this point.
Yeah, because it's been hinted
Sir
as the
Roderick
last
coming
sentence.
out, yeah.
Now, again, being a full spoiler reread, the Torrhen Square thing, those guys are fucked. The Iron Islanders that stay there get fucked because Roderick does come down.
Yeah.
Roderick does fuck shit up. But that's also when I think Reek comes into the Ramsay Bolton comes in to help. Doesn't he help down there? Some shit, some Bolton men. Am I imagining shit?
I believe it's Theon has to go back and treat with the Iron Islanders
That's
that are
it.
there.
Yeah.
Because they're still fucked up, but they're still holding the castle.
Right.
Yeah, I believe. Through my first couple of reads, I never really paid attention to the background movements of the Iron Islanders and Reek and the Boltons and shit. So it'll be interesting to see what actually happens. But yeah, no, Theon is now dead set on. And I really like it because in the show, when Theon gives Dagmer his plan, Dagmer like smiles and is like, oh yeah, let's do it.
Because
in
on
this,
the dock
we don't
there.
get the reaction to it. We don't get the reaction to I'm not trying to take Torrhen Square. We get the reaction to Torrhen Square, which is we can't fucking do it. But we don't get the reaction to Winterfell is the castle I want to take. And that I'm really curious as to what Dagmer said like after that. Like, because it's a good idea, but it's not a good idea.
No, because like they'll point out Asha, I think, is who eventually makes it known to him. How the fuck are we supposed to help Winterfell? Hold it.
So far
Send
from the
men.
sea.
There's we are not inland people. We don't know how to get back and forth and do that shit. No.
But if and then I was thinking about it too while reading this. If Theon's dumbass had stayed with Robb, he would have just been coating himself in glory at the Golden Tooth. Where
the Oxford Cross.
Yeah, the Ox Cross, yeah, where they crossed the Golden Tooth and then had the battle at Ox Cross.
Well, that's it. Another successful victory. And so he should have
Theon would have helped Robb plan, no doubt, and would have been a part of, and would have probably succeeded and done well in.
And well, very well, because those were all a bunch of green farm workers. Almost the same concept as what he fought here.
But it's an actual
on a larger
victory
scale.
in a war.
There's a battle. They're formed up behind the Lannister.
Tactical,
and this is just slaughter. I mean,
which is a funny comparison.
That's it. It's that. Why is one
but it's
slaughter
still,
better?
Yeah.
But the loyalty is what's pushing it there.
The loyalty, and I mean, at this point, it's just wanton violence for the sake of violence. And Theon has no guiding moral.
He doesn't have any desire to be violent.
He has nothing he's working toward. There's no goal in mind for him. It's purely, I want to please and gain my station with my father. And it's a piss poor goal. And one that he's not even achieving.
I was going to say,
he's not taking the corpse.
Even if it's not a piss poor goal, he's going about it the entirely wrong way by trying to not follow the drowned god.
I'm just saying it's piss poor goal because of how well it's settling in his stomach, which is he can't stomach it.
Yeah.
So clearly, this isn't the man you're supposed to be impressing. The man you're supposed to be impressing is either Robb or Dagmer, and clearly you don't want to listen to either one of those two. So Theon just can't be told what the fuck to do, and he's gonna attack Winterfell. So with that, you got an inductee.
Yeah, I had it set the whole week and was ready to go with it, but then I just feel like it's a cop-out at this point because I've just been gushing about him the whole time. But I guess I'll stick with him and go with Dagmer Cleftjaw.
Yeah.
Just because, like we've said, he's very different from what he was in the show. And in the book, seeing that he was such a prominent figure, almost a godfather too. He's he's fucking Theon Sirius Black.
Yeah.
And Theon's just not giving into the idea that anybody should be teaching him anything.
Theon should be leaning into this relationship.
He is so entitled that he didn't take any of the advice that Ned Stark gave, even when it completely aligned with who he claims to have loyalty to, his father, Balon Greyjoy, which is going to the old way. And, he who passes the sentence should swing the sword or hold the head under the water, whatever it is.
God, yeah.
And he refuses to do that. He was going to make his men chop the head off. He was going to drown them. But Dagmer, if he had gotten those 10 years not with Ned Stark and instead with Dagmer Cleftjaw, Theon would be potentially capable of passing as an honorable Iron Islander.
Yeah.
But he refuses to listen. He's so goddamn entitled that he won't. And I just feel like Dagmer had a lot to offer. And hopefully we get, especially on this reread where we're being so attentive to those side characters, I'm really looking forward to reading about Cleftjaw.
Actually, another interesting point, too, was the fact that Theon even had them the Botley brothers finish Todrick.
Yeah.
He shot him with an arrow and then had them slit his throat.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he could have just put another arrow into him and just been done with it, but instead he had them slit his throat. Like, again, your mistake, but you still had someone else finish it. And with that, my inductee is going to be going to Lord Botley, Fish Whiskers, who basically was just sitting by his pile
watching his sons
like came and just threw a little more, like, nah, don't fucking touch my pile, motherfuckers.
And just sat there while they fought with Todrick. And
I see old Botley as like a legit Iron Islander, where he's done his fighting and pillaging and is now to the point where, like, he goes in and he kills, he fights, but now he doesn't have to go and collect his loot. His sons will do it, because, like, I've killed my men, like, now just bring me my loot, and I like it. So Fish Whiskers.
Fuck yeah.
Bring his little pile, he could set it up in the corner.
Yeah.
And so we did get an inductee, of course, from our favorite French fry over in France, Julian, which Nate is currently pulling up.
Oh God. Putting me on the spot. Okay, and it says, Bonjour, New York. I know you're not in New York City. Sorry. And sorry again for being late in sending. That coronavirus thing is totally messing with us.
Not late.
Hopefully you're safe.
Yes.
It's never late. We can always read them on next episodes. So don't worry, Julian. Make sure you stay safe. Found two things quite nice in this chapter. That Cleftjaw character is awesome. I wish he would have appeared in the TV show. Good history, epic appearance. As you are now aware, he was in the show. He was a very forgettable and shitty character, so it's very
if you watch the show again, the scene where Theon talks about taking Winterfell, he's telling that to Dagmer Cleftjaw.
He's on the dock, and Cleftjaw is like this younger, weird-faced dude with like a discolored eye.
He's also the one who stabs Maester Luwin at Winterfell.
Right, yeah, that guy. And then, isn't that the same dude? He also clubs Theon on the head right after Theon gives his speech.
Yeah, he hits him with this spear.
So, the other thing is how Theon comes up with his plan. After seeming uncertain about his deeds, hesitant to fight and kill old friends of the North, the last part shows him confident and cunning. My inductee is going to be good old Ned Stark. I like how he popped up in the head of Theon. And therefore, in this chapter, always a figure of influence for his honor and his values. Also, he looks damn good with a scarf, right, Nate? Fuck yeah! I guess that one's going over my head. I don't know why, but sure, maybe because it will hide his neck so that he can't see his head's missing.
I don't know. If you two have an inside scarf joke, I don't need to be a part of it.
All right, I'm not going to bring you in on that. So have a good day, Valar Neto Harris. Thank you, Julian.
Yeah, Ned's always a good inductee, especially after he's dead. Seeing him pop up is always fun.
The influence he has, and I don't know if I saw it. I think Theon thinks he's cunning and clever, but I think that's what's interesting about his chapters is because it's his point of view, you can feel that overconfidence from him that he's purveying, but I don't think that the people around him are responding nearly the way he thinks that they are.
No, I would disagree with him being cunning here, because I think that this is a thought everybody's fucking had. And it's just, why would we do this? We can't hold Winterfell. It's not a good idea.
Yeah,
it's a good idea for how to take the castle, but then what? Where is the longevity in this plan? There is none. You can take the castle. You can't hold that fucking castle. Winterfell is so remote and in the largest kingdom of the Seven Kingdoms. The North is larger than all other kingdoms. And so there's no way one little contingent of Ironborn can hold the fucking North.
Yeah.
Let alone just Winterfell with the whole North turned against it. And so it's a good idea to take the castle. It's not a good idea in terms of strategy.
If they were going to sack Winterfell
and burn it to the ground,
sure.
Done.
Good idea, Theon.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Burn Winterfell to the ground? Cool, you got it.
Keep capturing it? You're a dipshit.
You're a dipshit.
You're a dumbass.
It's not a castle that can be held by this contingent of men at
There's
this
no
time,
point to doing it.
And there's no gain to doing it, except turning Robb's ire on the Ironborn, which... Anyway, so those were our thoughts on Theon 3 and Julian's inductee, our inductees. Next, we are going to be reading Arya 8, and
Yeah.
Arya's going to be diddy bopping around Harrenhal some more.
Fuck yeah. It's
And
a good chapter, people.
From
Get
what
us
I've
your
read and
inductees.
got my notes, yeah, it's a good one so far.
And so she's naming some more names, trying to, hopefully.
And after
we'll
that,
see.
I believe it's Catelyn?
Catelyn 5.
Cat.
Yeah, and so that's going to be
when
the...
she was fleeing Renly.
Yeah, fleeing Renly with Lady Brienne.
Yeah.
I'm not a lady.
Not lady.
Fuck yeah, Sir Brienne, Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, who was the runner-up in A Song of Madness with Davos.
I voted Brienne.
I did as well, but that's
Fight me.
okay. Danny fucking handled
No,
some
I
business,
mean, it's
so.
cool that Danny won,
They got
especially because of, I saw a lot of people were saying, like, vote for Danny to show, excuse me, to show the resurgence of the character from the show.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Resurrect her from what they did to her in the show, which,
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
it was funny. Yeah, March Madness was a lot of fun. So, join us next episode for Arya 8, and get us inductees. We'll catch you on the next one.
Valor to Harris!
Peace.